You have a website, which is your digital foundation, your digital home. And I tell people to think about it like essentially your digital property address. Your domain name is your digital address. The same way that your home has a physical address and a mailing address, your website has a digital address, and that is your domain name. Now you have this digital foundation, this digital hub, and the content that you publish there is yours. And this is huge because when we're talking about thought leadership, the biggest piece of thought leadership is publishing your ideas and or sharing your ideas, sometimes in public forums, through speaking engagements, through papers, but it is essentially just showcasing your ideas and publishing them, putting them out into the world. That's all that means. So when you're sharing your ideas on social media, that's fine and well for discoverability. Like it helps people actually discover you and find you and even connect with you, but it's not on a place that you own. And so what I advise people to do is once you have your digital foundation, which is essentially like the marketing front end of your site, then you add a blog. And I know people are like, there's still blogs. Blogs are still a thing. They are definitely still a thing. And the way that you think about them might have shifted, and it should. So blogs are really just places that you can post what you think. These can be essays, they can be articles, they can be podcasts that you've been featured on. With permission of the host, you can repost it or do a summary blog post and put that on your site. From there, when you've got those long form pieces, you take those and you can essentially parse out the bits and pieces that make sense for different social platforms. Now, this is an excellent way to actually show up on all these different platforms and see where people resonate with what you're saying, with what you're doing, and to see for yourself which platform do you even like to be on. Sometimes people are sort of really, really thin because they're trying to do like 5 platforms at once. And I know everyone says to niche down and choose one platform. And honestly, eventually, sure. But in the beginning, especially if you don't have experience with these platforms, whether it's X or LinkedIn or Instagram, hell, even Facebook, Substack, whatever it is, if you don't have experience with these platforms, you don't even know what you like. And if you don't know what you like, you cannot pick one and focus on it. So what I tell people to do is select a piece of long-form thinking that you've either published, could be an essay or an article, and take that and distribute it so that you can put it on LinkedIn, you could put it on Instagram, you could put it on X. No, I don't really subscribe to X anymore. You can put it on Substack in your newsletter. You can sort of just distribute this and see what the traction is like, and more importantly, see what feels really good to you. Where do you like playing online? This is a question that I don't think enough people ask themselves. They're operating from this place of like, I should be here, I should be posting on Instagram, I should be on LinkedIn because LinkedIn's really hot right now. They sort of just shit all over themselves, which is never really helpful. So ask yourself what you enjoy. I, for example, love posting on Instagram, but I almost never post anything about my business on Instagram except my book. I do post things about my book there, or book writing. I do that on Instagram quite a bit. But in general, I do like little travel bits. I do really fun stuff on Instagram, like food related. I like to see cities and buildings, and I think it gives me personality. I think people have come to expect that like, oh, if she's posting on her stories, she's like out and about somewhere, and people really enjoy that and they follow along for that reason. And even though it has nothing to do with my business, it does keep me top of mind in their head. And that's the platform that I prefer. I'm also experimenting with LinkedIn because I think it is underrated, but more so the clients that I want to help really show up on LinkedIn quite a bit because they're thought leaders or they're sort of industry professionals. They show up there. That's kind of their social network if they have any. That's usually the one that they'll be using. And so I'm definitely experimenting with that as well. So when you're posting on a blog, what you're doing is you're creating what I call content assets. Now, content assets function like assets, which typically appreciate over time. They become more valuable. And this is the same thing for most blog posts, especially if you're really intentional about writing them, because the longer it's online, the better it is for your search engine optimization. And the more people can actually credit you with the idea, right? Because you actually have like a publication date. That's a really helpful thing that not a lot of people think about. But I tell people that once you've got your digital foundation, your site, and you have your blog, publish those pieces, those content assets, distribute them on social, and then measure. Measure what you liked being on, if you liked any of those platforms. Measure what resonated with people and see, did anybody ask you questions, anybody like, was one post liked more than others? This is really the process to start showcasing your thought leadership. It's so common that so many experts really just don't know how to play the marketing game, but that's all it is. It's not even really a game. It's just like, how do I push my ideas forward, and not in a way that's forcing people to adopt them, but in a way that connects with people that want to hear them. That's really what we try to do with this digital foundation.